Katakuri is extremely underrated, and I'm going to be explaining why. Now, I know a lot of people are going to bring up the idea on how Katakuri has gone power cliff, but I think that's just blatantly not true. First, let's talk about the Luffy versus Katakuri fight. People like to act like on how Luffy had shown any form of actual good relativity to Katakuri, when the only time that he actually did was in Gear 4. The first time that he used Bound Man, he actually caught him off guard, where he didn't have access to things like Future Sight. And the second time he used Gear 4 was in Snake Man, where the same Luffy gets blitzed numerous times. But people like to bring up the idea on how Katakuri said that Luffy was no longer inferior to him, when literally right after, Katakuri was shown beating the shit out of Luffy, horribly and badly as well. The only reason why Katakuri even lost this fight in the first place is because Luffy was so resilient, and to the point where Katakuri just lost because of plot. Honestly, Katakuri would scale far higher than the likes of a Gear 4 Snake Man Luffy. But now I'm just going to be explaining on why Katakuri still has not gone power cliff. People like to say on how a base form Luffy was getting beat up by a ulti, on how base form Luffy would scale to Kaido, therefore ulti would scale above Katakuri. But I'm going to be explaining on why this line of logic wouldn't work. First off, we could talk about how Luffy even states on how he underestimated ulti. Then right after that, the same base form Luffy proceeds to blitz both ulti and page 1. And we can even talk about how the same base form Luffy wouldn't scale to Kaido. If it wasn't for Future Sight, the same base form Luffy would have gone speed blitz by Kaido, and in the anime it actually demonstrates on how he would have gone one-shotted and possibly killed. The only base form Luffy that actually scales to Kaido is the one using Advanced Conqueror Saki, which guess what, he didn't use until he got into the rooftop. But he even states on how he needs Gear 4th Luffy to fight ulti. This wouldn't matter because Luffy's willing to go into Gear 4th while fighting the fucking numbers, so I don't really think that matters much. Oh, but Gear 4th Luffy got one-shotted by Kaido. Thunder Bagua as a technique is specifically used to one-shot. The fact that Luffy didn't have access to Future Sight, took this head on, and didn't even block it would be a pretty reasonable reason why he got one-shot. So Katakuri is still smacking the Topiropo, smacking Jack, and possibly smacking Queen.